9:07 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Good morning. My name is Chris Hand. We are at the end of a week, and what a week it has been. Mac Morey producing, Ken Weaver in the newsroom. But today, my friends, today is your day. It's Agenda-Free Friday. Agenda, not gender. Let's be clear.
Yeah, clarify.
It's not non-binary Friday. This is Agenda-Free Friday. What does that mean? Well, it means, my friends, that we can talk about anything you want to talk about. We've done this now a few weeks in a row, and I think it's one of my favorite days because the news cycle moves so fast, lightning fast, that there are always stories that we can't get to. Even when I want to get to a story, I find myself getting sidelined with a story like I wasn't prepared for, like earlier this week with the legislation to require an ID for online pornography in Tennessee. So I had prepped the whole show that day.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then we spent 2/3 of the show on something I hadn't prepped for, which is awesome. Like, I love being able to pivot like that, but I just highlight that to say there's obviously always going to be more news in 2024 that we don't talk about than what we do. Right? Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Mac Morey is still repping Kansas City Chiefs gear every single day since they've won the Super Bowl. Is now day, what, 37?
Yeah, I think it's day 37. Yeah, I gotta look at the doc.
You are officially into Jersey territory.
Jersey season, baby.
It's Jersey season. So I can only, that means this is coming to an end.
I know, that means we're getting closer.
We're getting closer.
Yeah, pajama pants will be coming around the corner.
So what are we going to set the over-under at?
You told me rings don't count, right?
Well, do you have fake Super Bowl rings?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah, I've got 3 of them. I don't have our 4th, but I got 3 of them.
Did you see I sent you, I got targeted. I got a Target ad on Instagram, and I sent it to you.
I don't do it. You know, I'm bad on the Insta. I'm
You
so
don't do the
bad.
gram.
I'm so bad on the gram. I have it. I need to check it because this happens with my mom and with Hannah both.
So it's just me, your mom, and Hannah that hit you up on Instagram?
Yeah, it's literally...
All right.
I just exposed myself. Those are my DMs.
You just, and I feel embarrassed.
That you're amongst that group.
Well, I sent you this thing. I thought it was super cool. It's it's obviously unlicensed, but it's the plays, famous plays.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm looking at this now.
So like how they drew up a play. So it's like the final touchdown of the Super Bowl.
Oh, this is awesome.
Yeah, I thought you would like that. See, I'm always thinking of you, even when you're not thinking of me. Just so you know.
No, I literally, yeah, this is great. Yeah, you know me so well. I might buy this right now.
I know. This is what I do for you.
Little coasters, great plays. That's awesome.
Right? Isn't that cool?
That's awesome.
I thought that was cool.
That's really cool.
They have everything. They have the Celtics championships.
Wow.
They have like basically every team.
Okay, you're incentivizing me to get on the gram more.
You have to get on the gram.
Yeah, this is what you're doing.
I'm on Twitter, Truth Social, and Instagram. You can find me wherever you are, at Chris Hand on Air. Mac Morey is on Twitter, at MacJMorey25.
Boom.
Look at that.
Nice.
And you dropped your podcast yesterday.
Yes, I did. Yep.
All right.
Yep, talking huge trades, Titans, their AFC South rival, what it looks like next season, and breaking that all down, plus some new rules in the NFL that I hadn't gotten to talk about yet. So.
Oh, that's what people I've come to find out. People love rules.
Yep. My fiance Hannah always jokes that football is for those little kids on the recess playground that are like, wait, no, you can't do that. That's what she thinks football is. Which, I mean, sometimes that's fair. There's a lot of rules. A lot of rules.
You just roast her for liking Taylor Swift. That's what I would do. Wait until you're married.
Anything she says.
Wait until you're married. Wait until you're married, but keep it in your back pocket. Okay.
Wait for the right moment to strike.
Yeah. Because at a certain point, she'll realize that you were right.
Yeah.
It happens to everybody. It happens to everybody, including some of the most famous people in America. I saw this video this morning that I thought was fascinating. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, you know The Rock.
Familiar.
It's WrestleMania this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know that was happening?
I did. I forgot about that. Yes.
I love wrestling.
I know you're a fan. Yeah.
I'm like, it's so cheesy. But I equate like wrestling is the exact same thing as politics. There's something that they put in front of you, but there's far more interesting things going on behind the curtain.
I like that.
So anyway, The Rock is on Fox News. and he's doing an interview with the Friends. You know how they have the gang of the Friends on Fox?
Is this like the 5 or whatever?
It's the Fox and Friends.
Oh, this is the. Oh, yes. Fox. Yes.
So but in this one, it's just Will. It's like he didn't bring any friends with him. So
Fox and Lonely.
Yeah, just like Fox and Friend, question mark. But Will Kane was interviewing Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who's got a couple, he's going to be at WrestleMania this weekend. And The Rock basically apologized for endorsing Joe Biden in 2020. I was shocked, to say the least.
Are you happy that you made that endorsement in 2020? Are you happy with the state of America?
Am I happy with the state of America right now? Well, that answer is no. Do I believe we're going to get better? I believe in that. I'm an optimistic guy, and I believe we can get better. The endorsement that I made years ago with Biden was one I thought was the best decision for me at that time. And I thought back then, when we talk about, hey, I'm in this position where I have some influence, and it's my job then. I felt like that then. It's my job now to exercise my influence and share with this is who I'm going to endorse. Am I going to do that again this year? That answer is no.
That answer is no. Listen, people make mistakes. That was a giant mistake. And he probably got paid for it, too, to be fair. At least he has the humility to admit he was wrong. I give him credit for that. You can talk to Hannah, but Taylor Swift's probably going to double down on that bad endorsement this year. Right? Don't you think?
Yeah, I have no clue.
Could you imagine Taylor Swift coming out and being like, I was wrong?
No, I don't see that.
You don't see that coming?
No, I don't see that.
No. But at least we can all see through the endorsement that's coming from Taylor Swift. She's absolutely wrong. Now, I do like it when people admit that they're wrong. And listen, I know that I get things wrong, and I'm always happy to admit it. I probably get quite a bit wrong. But you have to be able to admit when you're wrong. And there's another clip I found of somebody admitting that they were wrong, albeit he was joking and trying to defend his position at the same time. Charlemagne from The Breakfast Club. We were talking about DEI yesterday, and they're DEIA.
Yes, get it correct.
So dumb. DEIA. We were talking about that yesterday because the Biden administration, they have a new what are they calling it? The CDO, the Chief Diversity Officer. State Department announced that they have a new CDO, a top DEI officer, and her name is Zakiya Carr Johnson, and she believes that she's got to dismantle everything.
Literally got to be about the work of dismantling that traditional structure at every juncture.
Yep. So we know DEI is bad. It's ridiculous. And Charlemagne, he was hosting The Daily Show, which I guess they're doing a bunch of guest hosts now. It's not always Jon Stewart, right? I don't know exactly how they're doing it. When I was growing up, I thought the Daily Show with Stewart was funny. It's not really funny anymore, but they do accidentally tell the truth sometimes, and that's what happened with Charlemagne. So he's trying to stick up for DEI, but he accidentally tells the truth about it. And he said that the only thing DEI actually produces is commercials.
It means more fair hiring policies, new anti-discrimination rules for the workplace, and sensitivity training seminars. And the first thing it led to was a shitload of ads.
Real progress on diversity and inclusion doesn't happen without real work.
Say celebrate diversity into your X1 voice remote to discover curated content today.
Every day, General Mills serves the world by making food people love. And inclusion is one of our secret ingredients.
At Kraft Heinz, our purpose is to make life delicious. And we believe we can't achieve that without one essential ingredient: diversity. It's diversity that makes life delicious.
We're on a 400-year-long journey, and scars don't fade. But neither does hope.
Ask your doctor if black people are right for you. That's right. Nobody's buying Vaseline because of diversity.
No. Do you buy Vaseline because of diversity?
What a great bit.
Do you? Like,
No.
No.
What?
He actually went on to say, he's like, does anybody actually buy Vaseline in general, or does it just show up with the house? And I had to think to myself, I don't know if I've ever bought Vaseline. You ever bought Vaseline?
I don't think I've purchased it.
Bet you have some, though.
I don't know. Maybe. Probably.
It came with the place. But Charlamagne's joking, he's goofing off, but he keeps accidentally telling the truth about DEI. And for the record, he was saying DEI, not DEIA.
But here's the part where you all stop applauding everything I say. The truth about DEI is that although it's well-intentioned, it's mostly garbage. Okay? It's kind of like the Black Little Mermaid. Just because racists hate it doesn't mean it's good. And you know I'm right, because every one of you has sat through one of those diversity training sessions and thought, this is some bullshit. And it's not just you. Over 900 studies have shown that DEI programs don't make the workplace better for minorities.
No, and in fact, I would argue it makes it far, far worse. Like, if you are an African American, you're a black guy, you become a pilot, like, and you work your butt off for that, you should be treated, equally. But now everybody goes, did you just get hired because of diversity programs? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's created this sense of doubt in the marketplace that's just not fair to people that put in hard work and make something of themselves and achieve something that is great. Because what the DEI programs have done, it's tainted the hard work of so many that have elevated themselves and got themselves into these big positions, right? I can't be the only one that thinks that. And Charlamagne continues. Says DEI programs, well, my friends, they're just corporate PR.
And honestly, I'm not surprised these programs didn't work. And here's why. It's just corporate PR. They want good vibes. And also, they want to cover their okay? Did you know that if a company gets sued for civil rights violations, just having a DEI program will be counted as evidence in their favor, even if the program doesn't do shit? Okay? It's the I have a black friend of the legal system, right? We don't need corporate DEI. Yes, we want diversity and equity and inclusion, but we don't want it from Vaseline. Although I'm not going to front, Vaseline has been there for the black community. Respect, okay? That's right. Moisturized.
So, I mean, he's covering for DEI at the same time he's accidentally telling the truth in so many ways. I thought that was hilarious. His whole monologue was pretty funny, and you don't have to be pro-DEI or anti-DEI to believe it. It was just funny.
Yeah, it's just funny.
It's just funny.
Yeah.
I like funny things.
Me too. Pro funny.
Either everything is funny or nothing is funny.
Bingo.
Thank you. I feel like that's the earliest bingo I've gotten on the show.
Wow, 9:20. Way to go.
In quite some time.
Also, sorry, looking at the Members Nutrition Super Text line, I just wanted to get this in. Todd is here. He was here on time.
Oh, my gosh. I feel like that's 4 out of 5 days for Todd. Congratulations, Todd.
What a week.
Show starts at 9. It's 9:21 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, it's Chris Hand. For my friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, my AC heat unit must feel like it's schizophrenic lately because it's heat in the morning, AC in the afternoon, and it's going to be like this for a couple weeks. And if you haven't gotten your system serviced the best way, the Busy Bee way with Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, you are effectively waiting for one or the other to stop working the way it needs to. Get your systems maintained with Busy Bee so that way they're running at peak efficiency. Whether you need that annual maintenance or if you've been kicking the can on repairing or replacing your AC because it went out at the end of last season, call the guys who I trust, Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. And if you do need to repair that AC system before the summer gets into full swing, you won't find a better value on replacement systems. The guys over at Busy Bee will give you up to 12 months with no payment and no interest with approved credit. And it'll always pay in so many ways to sign up to be a Beehive member. What does being a Beehive member get you? Well, it'll get you front-of-the-line service, 10% off all repairs, no overtime charges 24/7, and that thorough annual maintenance on your plumbing, heating, and air systems. Plus, Busy Bee will always come see you on Saturday. They have those convenient availability hours for those maintenance calls, so you'll never be stuck waiting all weekend long. Busy Bee, they're your Rude Pro partner for satisfaction guarantee. Call Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. 615-775-7833. That's 615-775-7833 or online at busybhvac.com.
The guaranteed offer is the easiest way to sell your home. It's really simple. We bring you an all-cash offer. You close in as little as 21 days. No home inspections, no lockboxes, no open houses. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer and start packing.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Matt Murphy for Members Nutrition. I want to tell you about the Members Nutrition difference, and I want to encourage you to go over to the Members Nutrition website. Number one, they believe at Members Nutrition that they can sell vitamins and supplements at a lower cost point, and they're doing it every single day at membersnutrition.com. Number two, they want to make these products right here in the United States of America, not from some overseas company, and they do that every single day. I encourage you to go to membersnutrition.com. You'll get 50% off your purchase price at checkout. You don't have to put in any codes. Just go to membersnutrition.com. Once again, membersnutrition.com.
What an absolute mess. Hey, it's Dan Mandison. Look at my closets. Unorganized to say the least. Even my window dormer is a train wreck. Stuff is everywhere. Now, luckily, California Closets is coming to my rescue. My personal design consultant, Vince, stopped by, measured, and is now showing me how to become more space efficient and organized on his 3D CAD system. It is amazing. And soon, my space is going to be organized, and yes, even Bandit approves. California Closets, a local company that can customize the storage in any room of your house. California Closets, what can they do for you? Find them online at californiaclosets.com and reach out for your free in-home consultation. Hey, it's Dan Mandison. I love my Patriot Supply. It's emergency food so you can care for your family no matter what. And today, we're fixing creamy chicken flavored rice. And the thing I love about my Patriot Supply, it's easy. You just get the water, turn on the heat, and in minutes, we are ready to go. Now, this food lasts for 25 years in special packaging, and yes, it does taste great. And in just minutes, it's ready to eat. Patriots don't rely on the government to take care of their family in emergencies. It's up to you. Order right now and get $200 off a 3-month food kit. It's important to go to preparewithmandis.com to get that great discount. That's preparewithmandis.com to get that great discount. Preparewithmandis.com. $200 off a 3-month food kit.
A critical moment for U.S.-Israeli relations. We'll tell you about it at 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Ken Weaver. It is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. It's an agenda-free Friday. Anything you want to talk about, we can talk about. Did you hear Scott Jennings on CNN calling out Wolf Blitzer for pushing the animals hoax? The animal hoax has to be the weakest hoax of all the hoaxes that we've seen lately. You know what I mean? It has to be. Has to be. There's been better hoaxes. The animal hoax, in case you forgot, Donald Trump, he got hoaxed again. He was talking about illegal aliens that are killing people, and he called them animals. The Biden-Harris campaign on Twitter, they clipped it down to 7 seconds, and they said, look, he's calling all immigrants animals. And Wolf Blitzer was pushing it on CNN, and Scott Jennings, one of their Republican contributors, he pushed back.
When he says these immigrants are animals, they're not humans, what does that suggest? I mean, isn't that brutal? Shouldn't people be condemning that?
I listened to the entire tape. He was specifically talking about the person who murdered Laken Riley in Georgia. And to be honest with you, Wolf, if somebody murders another human being, I think they deserve to be called animals. And I don't think any American is really going to reject that kind of rhetoric. That poor girl was murdered in cold blood. Is that person who did it not an animal? I think that's an apt term.
Yeah, it is an apt term. And they're talking about the most vile of people. Predators, child rapists, murderers. But the left-wing media, I mean, they're still doubling down on this thing and calling it, can you believe what Trump said? Stephen Miller, a former Trump associate, he went off on this, and he was very, very upset. Far more upset than Scott Jennings was for the left wing pushing this. The left side of mainstream media, which is basically all of mainstream media, very upset. I have that audio for you on the way after Ken Weaver's newscast on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
"9:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Middle Tennessee under a frost advisory tonight. It's like we've awakened from a long nap to learn that it's still winter. Full forecast in 2 minutes. Israel's fired 2 commanders for the attack on that civilian aid convoy that killed 7 members of World Central Kitchen, including a U.S. dual citizen. Also reopening a crossing in northern Gaza to allow more aid to flow to Palestinians. But National Security Advisor to President Biden, John Kirby, telling ABC News, Good Morning America this morning, Israel needs to do more.
Nothing's changed about the president's desire. An immediate ceasefire in exchange for getting those hostages out and for getting all that extra aid in. That's what negotiators are meeting this weekend to talk about in Cairo.
Right now in our nation's capital, police officers who stopped the Covenant shooter are nominated for the Congressional Gold Medal by 5th District Congressman Andy Ogles. The Congressional Gold Medal is the highest honor Congress awards for civilians or non-military members. That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
9:35 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It's an agenda-free Friday. You can dictate where you want the conversation to go. Any news stories you've missed, any conspiracy theories that tickle your fancy, all the things. Alan in Antioch wants to talk about money. What's up, Alan?
Good morning. Good morning. Money. Where's the money coming from? Ready? We're giving money to Israel and Ukraine. Billions. Just billions. There's a phone thing that they're giving to people that don't hear well. It's free. The government gives you. College tuition. We're going to pay it for you. Part C med. I believe the government gives you a little break. And we're going to rebuild the bridge that's not knocked down. Where are we getting all of this money, Joe?
We're borrowing it. We're borrowing it.
So we owe somebody so we can give our people something.
Yeah, I feel like you got it right. You hit the nail on the head there.
Great, and we're going to vote for him again. I end my conversation. Thank you, sir.
Hey, I'm not voting for him again. I never voted for him the first time.
Amen.
Hey, I appreciate you, Alan. Thanks so much. 615-737-9986 if you want to be part of the conversation. Yeah, I mean, he's not wrong. And things are going to get crazy. Antony Blinken, no H. No H. He says that the Biden administration's goal is to create a bridge to Ukraine's full membership. I know Alan just brought up Ukraine as well.
We also held our second NATO-Ukraine Council. We reaffirmed that Ukraine's future...
Oh, sorry.
We also held our second NATO-Ukraine Council. We reaffirmed that Ukraine's future is in NATO. Our goal now is to create a bridge to Ukraine's full membership, offering additional support and greater cooperation as Ukraine makes the reforms necessary to join the alliance.
It's crazy. So they're announcing that Ukraine is going to be joining NATO, and I'm just wondering, where are we going to get the money for World War III? This is at the same time where, just yesterday we were talking about how the Biden administration is not going to fill the strategic petroleum reserves. What are we going to do there? We're funding both sides of the Israel-Hamas conflict. It's wild. It's wild. Where are we getting the money? It's going to be your kids, your grandkids, and your great-grandkids, possibly great-great-grandkids. Brian in Cookville, you're next. What do you want to talk about on this Agenda-Free Friday, Brian?
Hey, man, I want to talk about the Hamas and Israel war.
All right, what's going on?
It's a little cynical, but didn't it take them several hours to respond after the initial attack?
Yes, and I've gone over that before. There was some audio from Charlie Kirk, and he was talking about how, Israel's the size of New Jersey, and it took hours for them to respond.
And I know this is a little cynical, not the Jewish people. What if government purposely let the attack happen, knowing it was going to happen, and just planning on them being so evil, and it gives them the excuse to go in there and just level the place?
I mean, I don't think that you're far off. In fact, there was the New York Times.
I hate to think that would happen.
I hate to think it would happen too, but it depends on it depends on who you believe. The New York Times said that there was intelligence reports in Israel's hands that Hamas was planning this. There were large scale.
It feels like the whole world's getting more evil.
Yeah,
let this happen, and then we seem like the good guys. So now we have a reason to go in there and do what we want and have all the support of our country.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm all for a country, defending itself, taking action when they've been attacked. I think that's fine. My biggest issue with this conflict is that we're funding both sides.
Yeah, I don't think we should be given a dime.
No, handle it on your own. Handle it on your own.
I mean, we talk about how big and strong they are and how much respect we have for their military. I think they can just go in and handle it themselves. They don't really need to hear from us.
Their military is very strong. Very, very strong. And I think if they took the gloves off, they could have ended this a lot quicker.
Exactly. That's all I got. That's my 2 cents.
Hey, I appreciate you. Hey, thanks, man. Thanks for listening. Thanks, Brian. Calvin, the distinguished gentleman from Lebanon, wants to talk about the power of the vote. Calvin, you're next on Super Talk. What's up, sir?
Yes, Chris. I just wanted to say, all the power the left has, as Americans, we've all got more power than them. I grew up to my dad preaching, as an American, you've got the right to vote, and you need to exercise it. Of course, back then it used to go in one ear and out the next, so I'm as guilty as the rest. But every time Tim Burchett comes on this radio station, I make sure I'm available.
Tim is my favorite. Tim's my favorite.
Right. He goes into the vote, and you see, Chris, we've all got more power than the left. We're just not exercising it. And it's like Tim says, it can't be in just one area, the presidential. You got to vote for police chiefs. You got to vote for judges. You got to vote for school boards. You got to vote for senators, governors. And I'm as guilty as the rest. But when we do not exercise this very powerful vote that we have, we elect these people, and we have no right to complain.
No, you're absolutely right. I wonder, what do you think? What's your take on, should we be early voting or should we wait till Election Day? Because it seems like there's two schools of thoughts there.
Well, I mean, it's like this. Me in particular, I early voted because there's nothing they can do to Trump that's going to change my mind. Knowing the dynamics of it, I know some people, Brian Wilson, will say, I just don't like early voting because you never know what's going to happen between now and then. There's nothing they can do to Trump to change my vote, so he got the early vote. Now, I guess, some people might say, well, no, if he gets indicted, I mean, come on, people. It's all for election purposes. But, I couldn't really tell you what to do. I just know what I've done.
Hey, I appreciate your call, Calvin. Thanks so much, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, I asked the question because it seems like there's two schools of thought with conservatives right now on voting. I've seen mainstream conservatives like Jack Posobiec say we need to get out an early vote because the glitches are going to happen on Election Day, and then that'll affect Republicans because we usually come out on Election Day. I've seen other prominent conservatives say don't early vote because then they're just going to have a count on how many they need to fabricate, which I don't know how true that is, but it seems like that's the argument. Early voting or day of voting. Personally, I'll be voting day of, not because I think my vote's going to change. Like Calvin said, Brian made the point. There's so much time. Why would you early vote? Which I understand that, especially on some elections, right? But we know who Trump is. So I think it's an interesting conversation to have. Susan in Spring Hill, you're next on Super Talk. What's up, Susan?
Hey, Chris. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. I was calling because I was listening to Brian Wilson last night while I was cleaning, and he was saying something about, I didn't get to hear it all, but something to the effect that we're in more danger than we've ever been in.
Mm-hmm.
And that just got me down the rabbit hole of being angry that we are in the position we're in, which got me thinking about all the idiots that got us in the position that we are in. And I really think when Trump becomes president, I'm not for government overreach usually, but I think that he should take all of the voters' cards of everybody that voted for Biden because they're not mentally fit to vote.
I don't know. I feel like that would go over like a fart in church.
Well, and so many things go over that way these days. It's just one more thing, but at least we would be rid of the morons.
I feel like I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever be rid of the morons, Susan. But I think that the most effective thing that Trump could do day one when he gets into office is to start drilling again. It'll affect the futures market right away, and to start the greatest mass deportation event we've ever seen in history. That's what needs to be done.
I definitely agree with that, but I do believe there's something to taking the registration away from the others.
I hear you.
That's mentally unfit to choose anything.
Maybe a mental competency test.
Exactly. But do you know what I was talking about? What Brian Wilson was talking about, this being a more dangerous time than we've ever experienced?
So I didn't catch that when Brian was talking about it. My head jumps to the border. Is that what he's talking? Is that what he's talking about?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. I'm sure, and I've heard him say something along those lines before. And he's not. If that was the case, just me talking about it without hearing it, I would say he's absolutely right. We have a wide open southern border, we have all. I made the point yesterday. It's like we have all these illegal aliens coming over the border committing crimes, right? But we know for a fact that there are more Chinese nationals than ever before. Have you heard of any Chinese national getting arrested for committing a crime?
None. Not that I've heard of, no.
So what are they waiting for and what are they planning?
That's what I'm afraid of.
That scares me. At least like the crime from the illegals, when you hear about squatters, you hear about, I mean, as sad as it is, the murders and stuff like that, it's like, at least those are almost isolated, right? In at that point in time, it's a one-off, right? But what I think could happen with the Chinese nationals, as far as our national security, our electrical grid, any number of things, I feel like it is far more scary and long lasting.
Right. I agree with you.
Hey, I appreciate your call,
Something's
Susan.
coming. Okay, thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you so much. You too. Eric in Morristown, one of my favorite callers. Eric, what's up, man?
Hey, good morning, bro. I appreciate you guys taking my call, and anecdotally speaking, this is the best show on this hour. Hey, real quick, man. I wanted to talk two topics, seemingly unrelated, but they are related on two different issues. Pornography.
Yep.
Pornography issue that you were speaking about earlier this week, which had a whole ton of calls about this, because there's legislation being presented or being brought up that they should have age verification, digital forms of identification, in order to prevent those under the age of 18 or age of majority from viewing such pornographic content. Now, I agree with it. However, you'd mentioned about it, the XXX, the .xxx
extension, browser extension.
Right, browser extension, right?
So instead of .com or .org, it would be .xxx.
Gotcha, right. Okay, understood on that. This is a global issue going on now. They're using the children as the excuse to incorporate digital face print recognition and digital identification technology globally. It's happening in the UK. Started happening in the UK a couple years ago. This nearly identical verbiage and legislation was presented in Australia, New Zealand, Canada, throughout the European Union, and now here in the United States. Now, people, we need to do this, that, and the other, protect the kids. I totally get that, okay? I completely get it. However, we want to trust a government entity in order to help protect our children when they can't even keep the pornography out of the public school system. Okay, people should look into the National Librarian Association. That is the catalyst, or the conduit for a lot of this material entering our public, elementary and junior high school and even high school age schools. Libraries. They're big into the DEI aspect of things. Diversity, equity, inclusion. We got to include all this, because after all, even the UN says children have the right to a comprehensive sexual education. People can look this up, or they can look it up. It is a UN-driven agenda. Okay, so again, I think .xxx is the way to go, plus the power of just saying no to our children. I understand it's difficult. I had 5 boys. Totally get that whole aspect of the pornography angle. Totally get it. Let's just say a father's rage knows no bounds when it comes to violating what the promises of stewarding a young man into this world. Not a child, a young man. So on the next aspect, you're talking about the DEI aspect of it, and you're talking about Charlemagne and stuff. Okay, DEI is a bunch of Bravo Sierra, in my opinion.
Yep.
It's created a giant Charlie Foxtrot in our society. Now, here's why. When I first I was in the military, got injured, was medically retired in the military. My first team leader at my Force Reconnaissance Platoon, 3rd Platoon in Camp Lejeune back in 1988 we called him Dark Green Marine. Staff Sergeant Thomas, I'm not going to mention his first name, Staff Sergeant Thomas, I would have taken multiple bullets for that man. He showed so much. There were other Dark Green Marines kicking butt and taking names at the Force Recon Company, even though they weren't as demographically represented as maybe they should have been, but there were standards to meet. You either meet the standards or get lost. You either meet it or beat it.
Yep.
That's just the way it was.
Yep.
again, I would have taken would have taken rounds for each other. And unfortunately, I just through a mishap, skydiving mishap, that I was taken out of the game early on in late 2000. But the how should I say, what I'm trying to get at is cut no one any slack. You either put out or you get out. That might be a little militant sounding, in my opinion. It could come across a bit terse or aggressive.
I don't think so. I think it's what this country was built on: meritocracy.
Absolutely. And again, are there people that need assistance here and there? Yeah, sure. But you don't lower the standards to raise averages. You raise people to raise them averages. You get the people to raise their own averages. This is a leadership issue. There's a total quality management issue. There's the dichotomy of cutting slack to raise averages, to get better, quote unquote, more results, statistically. That's baloney. The dichotomy should be good or bad, better or worse, put out or get out. That's just my 2 cents. And I appreciate your show, man. I appreciate you letting me vent and stuff. But there's there's a lot of multifacets to these issues, and they are interconnected. The pornography through the DEI, through the national public education, even down into the military ranks. So I think lead, follow, or get the hell out of the way. That's my 2 cents, man. I appreciate it, bro.
Hey, I appreciate you, Eric. It is 9:52 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, it's Chris Hand here from my friends at membersnutrition.com. You've heard me talk about the Youthful Cleanse by Daily Defense, helping you get that optimal gut health, flushing out the toxins that we absorb from the air that we breathe to the food that we eat. It's everywhere. But Members Nutrition is bringing you affordable and quality supplements at a fraction of normal retail costs, all sorts of quality supplements, no matter what type you're in the market for. Immunity or weight loss detox like the Cleanse, just generic men's health and women's health, or relaxation supplements. I've been taking an energy supplement from membersnutrition.com. They have it all. And they have it at a fraction of the retail cost. And another thing that's different from what you get on the retail shelves at membersnutrition.com, the vitamins and supplements are made right here in the USA. You cannot say that when you buy them off the store shelves. You don't know where they're coming from when you buy them off the store shelves. Spoiler alert, it's probably China. We talk about decoupling. We talk about buying American. We talk about supporting products made in the USA. If you're buying vitamins and supplements for yourself, you can do all of those things by buying them today from membersnutrition.com. That website, one more time, membersnutrition.com.
Whole lot of shaking going on in the Northeast. There has been an earthquake. We'll tell you how many people have felt it and how far away, coming up at 10 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
It's crazy. I'm seeing the headlines on the news now. My wife texted me about that.
Yeah, this is different.
It's wild. I once felt an earthquake.
I have never, and I don't ever want to feel an earthquake.
Me either.
So I remember like it was yesterday. I was in Richmond, Virginia. I'm at the radio station. I don't know what's going on. Only one guy on the staff was quick enough to realize what was happening, and he bolted out of that building. He saved no women. He saved no children. He didn't warn anybody.
He just went.
He just got out of there. He just got out of there. Well, Ken Weaver's newscast is on the way. Find me on social media, Twitter, True Social, Instagram, at Chris Hand on Air. Hit the follow button. I will follow back. It's an agenda-free Friday. What do you want to talk about? More of your calls next at 615-737-9986.
Ten o'clock on the dot this Friday morning. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Everyone in Middle Tennessee under a frost advisory tonight. Well, because it's spring, you know. Full forecast coming up in 2 minutes. A 4.8 magnitude earthquake rocking the Northeast this morning, shaking buildings from New Jersey to New York City to Connecticut to Pennsylvania. It was centered in Lebanon, New Jersey, according to the U.S. Geological Survey. Reports of injuries not immediately clear. We're at a critical point in U.S.-Israel relations. President Biden's National Security Advisor John Kirby telling ABC's Good Morning America, Israel firing the two commanders for the accidental strike on a civilian aid convoy and opening a crossing into northern Gaza to allow more aid for Palestinians isn't enough.
Nothing's changed about the president's desire. An immediate ceasefire in exchange for getting those hostages out and for getting all that extra aid in. That's what negotiators are meeting this weekend to talk about in Cairo.
The Biden administration recently approved the delivery of thousands more bombs to Israel in the coming years, but now making clear the U.S. could change course. The new jobs report, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, says the U.S. added more than 300,000 jobs last month. When you take a look which industries are hiring the most workers, healthcare adding an average of about 60,000 jobs every month for the past year. On average, wages are up 4.1% in the past year. It's actually going up at a faster pace than inflation at 3.25%. That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Thank you. Thank you, Ken and Mac. Thanks, Mac.
You're welcome, Brother Chris.
Well, all right, guys. So you've heard Dan and Matt rave about the Glock store, and I heard him too. And when I heard him talking about it, I was thinking, cool. It's a gun store. It's got a range. Been to those, right? We've all been to those. How different can it be? And all right, I was wrong. Mark the tape. Chris Hand was wrong. Dan Mandis and Matt Murphy were right. I went to the Glock store this week. I checked it out. And the Glock store, in a word, amazing. I mean, this place is unbelievable. It is so much bigger than I could have imagined. It is bright, it is well-stocked, and it is staffed with the most friendly, most knowledgeable people ever, especially if you're asking about home defense, because that's what they specialize in, that and self-defense, and, of course, custom Glocks. Beautiful custom Glocks. You have to see this to believe it. I was amazed at all the performance parts that they make right here in Nashville. Pyramid triggers, extended controls, tungsten guide rods, and they install all of them for you for free while you wait. Yes, I said for free. But my biggest surprise came from the Shoot 270 indoor ranges and what they had to offer. I guess what they didn't have to offer would be a better description, because they don't have lanes. They have private shooting rooms with personal instructors, and I cannot wait to have the first session with my wife and I. She can't wait either. We are going back and forth with these guys. We're getting booked. We're lining up babysitters. We're going to train at the Glock store. Go train at the Glock store. The website is glockstore.com. They're minutes from the airport and worth the drive from anywhere.
The guaranteed offer is the easiest way to sell your home. It's really simple. We bring you an all-cash offer. You close in as little as 21 days. No home inspections, no lockboxes, no open houses. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer and start packing.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Matt Murphy for Members Nutrition. I want to tell you about the Members Nutrition difference, and I want to encourage you to go over to the Members Nutrition website. Number one, they believe at Members Nutrition that they can sell vitamins and supplements at a lower cost point, and they're doing it every single day at membersnutrition.com. Number two, they want to make these products right here in the United States of America, not from some overseas company, and they do that every single day. I encourage you to go to membersnutrition.com. You'll get 50% off your purchase price at checkout. You don't have to put in any codes. Just go to membersnutrition.com. Once again, membersnutrition.com.
What an absolute mess. Hey, it's Dan Mandison. Look at my closets. Unorganized to say the least. Even my window dormer is a train wreck. Stuff is everywhere. Now, luckily, California Closets is coming to my rescue. My personal design consultant, Vince, stopped by, measured, and is now showing me how to become more space efficient and organized on his 3D CAD system. It is amazing. And soon, my space is going to be organized, and yes, even Bandit approves. California Closets, a local company that can customize the storage in any room of your house. California Closets, what can they do for you? Find them online at californiaclosets.com and reach out for your free in-home consultation. Hey, it's Dan Mandison. I love my Patriot Supply. It's emergency food so you can care for your family no matter what. And today, we're fixing creamy chicken flavored rice. And the thing I love about my Patriot Supply, it's easy. You just get the water, turn on the heat, and in minutes, we are ready to go. Now, this food lasts for 25 years in special packaging, and yes, it does taste great. And in just minutes, it's ready to eat. Patriots don't rely on the government to take care of their family in emergencies. It's up to you. Order right now and get $200 off a 3-month food kit. It's important to go to preparewithmandis.com to get that great discount. That's preparewithmandis.com to get that great discount. Preparewithmandis.com. $200 off a 3-month food kit.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, True Social, at Chris Hand on air. Hit the follow button. I will follow back. I spent the commercial break following quite a few people back. I think they were all real people, too.
No Russian bots?
Well, Elon Musk said he's going to crack down on the bots. Did you hear him say that?
Okay.
So
I thought he was already going to...
He said he's going to be taking legal action.
Oh, okay. Now he's really going for it. Okay.
They're going for it. They're
Good
going
for him.
it. It's an agenda-free Friday on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Anything you want to talk about, we can talk about. Mac was telling me that LeBron James' son just declared for the NBA draft.
Bronny James. He did.
Is he any good?
Wasn't really good this year. He's good on defense. Can't make a shot. His jump shot's broken right now. So, I mean, that last name will help him, though.
You think so?
Yeah, I think it's that last name will help him.
Many such cases.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he just stays in that same state and the Lakers try and take him. Join his dad.
Yeah. Probably get a lot of money to play overseas in China. Yep. You know, LeBron would play over there too. They're big fans of China. They are. He loves China. Not a fan of Taiwan. Mike in Hartsville, you're next on Super Talk. What's up, Mike? What do you want to talk about?
Hey, what's going on? I wanted to talk about earthquakes. So I was in the military. We went on a training exercise in Virginia back in 2011 when the earthquake happened.
Yes, that's the one I felt. That's the one I felt in Richmond. That's the one that cracked the Washington Monument.
So I was in Virginia Beach with my co-pilot. I flew Blackhawks in the Army, and we were sitting there drinking beer, watching bikinis, and all of a sudden the earth started moving, and my co-pilot was like, "Hey, man, why'd you move this table?" I'm like, "It's concreted to the floor. I didn't move that." And it was the craziest, weirdest experience I've ever had in my life. It was nuts, man.
Oh yeah, and so and thanks for the call. It was nuts when that happened. That was 2011. That's crazy, man. It's so long ago. So like a couple weeks before that, I went up to the top of the Washington Monument with my little sister, and got to do the tour there.
Oh, nice.
Like, you've seen it in the Spider-Man movie, probably.
Yeah.
You watch,
yes.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do.
I'm trying to relate to
I was
a
about to
younger
say,
audience.
thank you.
You've seen it. But we were one of the last ones that got to go up there for the longest time because that earthquake in 2011 cracked the Washington Monument. Wild experiencing an earthquake. Dave in Hendersonville, you want to talk about Trump? What's up, Dave? How are you, sir?
Not much, but how you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man.
Hey, I felt an earthquake up in Kentucky.
Really?
I think in 2007, I believe it was.
Okay.
Woke me up early one morning, but Trump.
Yes, sir.
I think the lady called earlier talking about taking the voting cards away from the ones that voted for Biden.
Yeah.
Trump, when he gets in, he needs to drill first off.
Yep.
And then he needs to do the roundup. But I think he also needs to take and do an executive order where all of the voting rolls in every state has to be gone through and cleaned up.
I couldn't agree more. I feel like that needs to be done before he takes office. We need to be doing that now.
Well, that's true, but Biden's not going to do that. So not only that, since these people have come into the military, Biden put them in the military to make us look bad. This fruitcake that's wearing that dress in the military and going on TV and just embarrassing the United States. I think what Trump needs to do when he gets in there, he should fire them and embarrass them.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure who you're talking about, but I appreciate your call, Dave. Thanks so much. And I think that there's a lot of things Trump needs to do and reverse the Biden policies. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if he can get all of that done in day one. It's going to take some time. Steven in Paris wants to talk about squatters. Steven, you're next on Super Talk. What's up, man?
Hey, Chris. Hey, thanks for taking my call. Yeah, I'm just wondering, man, I know you guys are plugged in more than me, so I don't know how much of this stuff is happening in Tennessee or in around Nashville area, if there's been any cases where people are doing it, but it just seems like I don't understand how people are being allowed to do that because, for one, I mean, it's an empty house to my knowledge. Somebody's got for sale, and if they're showing it, there's usually like a lock with a key code on the door that lets people in. I don't know who would leave an empty house just unlocked and unattended, but isn't it breaking an entry or burglary if you break into somebody's house, whether it's empty or not, and just decide to live in it?
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to have a no trespassing sign so you can get them on trespassing on private property. But I guess the laws are a little bit tougher in Tennessee. I don't have the exact law. I had it the other day. I think you have to have the home for like 20 years to have any kind of squatter's rights, if I recall correctly. I just don't have it in front of me. But I think stuff needs to be done about squatters. I read a story where a guy realized that he was in California. His mother owned a property, and he realized that the squatter had more rights than his mom. So as the landlord, so he had his mom draw up rental papers for him, and they waited until the squatter left, and he broke back into the house. And then when the squatter returned, the squatter called the police, and he said to the officer, he's like, no, I live here, I have a rental agreement, and he showed the rental agreement.
Wow, it's amazing, man. Yeah, but I know illegals are also doing it now. I saw a clip where there was an illegal immigrant using social media.
Yep.
He's telling all of his buddies, "Come on up and grab a house." And you're good.
He's an illegal. He was an illegal alien influencer. He has now been arrested by ICE. But you're absolutely right. And thanks for the call, Steve.
Yeah.
There are illegal aliens doing squatting. There were 8 of them that got busted for doing it in New York.
The squatters, and the owner has been trying to get him out of the apartment for the longest period of time. And I think he has a court date set. Apparently, because they're squatters of more than 30 days, they came and they were kind of a disruptive force, mainly because there were a lot of them.
Yeah, and I think disruptive is the nice way to put it. These 8 illegal aliens that were squatting in a Bronx property that man was just talking about, when police showed up, they found the property filled with weapons and drugs. And a 7-year-old child was discovered in the basement of the home. And the home was located directly next to a school. So.
Sounds like a good upbringing.
No big deal.
Yeah, all good. Nothing to see here.
Nothing to see here. I don't like the squatter stuff at all. And you know what? I applaud Ron DeSantis for outlawing it in Florida. I really do. I think it is a good move. And the squatters in New York. My buddy Hayden wrote this for the Post Millennial, a guy I know. The illegal immigrant squatters that were arrested on drug and gun charges in the Bronx that man was just talking about, they had failed to appear for their asylum processing appointments. I thought everybody showed up for their asylum processing appointments. Isn't that crazy? That must be a one-off, right? Honest mistake. 4 of those illegal aliens who were squatting that were arrested, they skipped their processing appointments with ICE. That's according to the Post Millennial, the New York Post. They list the 4 illegal aliens that were detained by the U.S. Border Patrol in Texas over a year ago. They were subsequently released into the country due to overcrowding at processing centers, and then they failed to appear for their processing appointments. I'm sure that there are many such cases just like this. But the illegal alien stuff is insane. It is insane. We have terrorists being released into the country. There was a Somalian terrorist that was released into our country and let to roam around for free for a year before they reapprehended him. Now, Mark Green and the House, the Homeland Security Committee, they're pressing the DHS and Mayorkas to answer how migrants on the federal government's terrorist watch list, illegal aliens, not migrants. This is how the left manipulates language. Even right-wing news sources now are writing migrants. The illegal aliens on the government's terrorist watch list, they want to know how they're being released into the United States. So in a letter that was sent on Wednesday, Mark Green, the Homeland Security Committee chairman, he as well as Clay Higgins and August Pfluger, who chair subcommittees, they want Mayorkas to provide them with a classified briefing on several reported cases of illegal aliens on the terrorism watch list being released into the nation's interior. And of course, that first case was involved a U.S. designated foreign terrorist organization, Al-Shabaab. So we have terrorists from Al-Shabaab. The second case was about a Pakistani man allegedly on the terrorist watch list who made it into the United States. And then there are additional cases that more and more individuals on the terrorist watch list are getting it. So the congressman noted that the FBI director Christopher Wray's testimony last month before the Senate Intelligence Committee, where he warned he's very concerned over the possibility of human smuggling networks to the U.S. with ties to the Islamic State. And they're just like, what is going on? They're demanding answers. So, shout out to Mark Green. He's looking for answers on this. But we see so many of these stories. It's insane. I could literally spend 2 hours doing these stories. Like, hey, did you hear about the Honduran illegal alien who was deported 3 times and charged with possessing 124,000 fentanyl pills in Salt Lake City? Yep, his name is Gustavo Flores Hernandez. He was deported in 2011, 2018, and 2019. And he's been living in Salt Lake City. He's just charged with possession of fentanyl with intent to distribute. 124,000 fentanyl pills. These are just the guys that we're catching. Did you hear about the illegal aliens that were found hiding in a middle school in New Mexico? This is the second time they've done this. The media reported it as an isolated incident, but it's the second time this has happened. A middle school in New Mexico got placed on lockdown last week after illegal aliens were discovered to be found hiding inside. The Santa Teresa Middle School near the U.S. southern border with Mexico. It's not the first time they've been there. Being that this school is so close to the border, the proximity of the border, these types of events happen weekly, said a spokesperson with the U.S. Border Patrol. It's insane. It's insane. Brandon Judd, the spokesman, the Border Patrol Union president, he said, listen, we need Trump back because Trump's policies actually worked.
And what really makes me sick about everything is when you hear people say, well, illegal immigrants don't commit as many crimes as what United States citizens do. That is a red herring. It doesn't matter. Those individuals shouldn't be here anyway. And when you look at President Trump's policies and you recognize that he was able to keep crime out of this country, when he was able to keep people like Lake and Riley alive, when he was able to keep people that are poisoning from fentanyl from dying, when he was able to keep those people from dying, you have to recognize that the policies actually worked. And when you look at everything that we're facing right now, everything is strictly based upon the policies that this administration has put in place. When you bring back catch and release, you are inviting people to cross our borders illegally. And that's exactly what he's done. He is rewarding people for violating our laws. And as long as you do that, they're going to continue to come.
Yep. If you build these bad policies, they will come. It's like a nightmarish version of Field of Dreams. We need Trump back. November can't get here soon enough. It's an agenda-free Friday on the Chris Hand Show. Anything you want to talk about is on the table. 615-737-9986. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
All right, we got two big traffic problems right now. First, I-40 is closed. This is going to be eastbound between Whitebridge Pike and Briley Parkway West. That is between exits 204 and 207. Now in Rutherford County, we've got 24 westbound down to one lane. The left 3 lanes are blocked due to a crash between Waldron Road, exit 64, and Hickory Hollow Parkway, exit 60. And you better check with your airline. That earthquake in New Jersey has prompted a ground stop at major airports. Details coming up at 10:30 on Supertalk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Ken Weaver. It is Supertalk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. We're talking about migrants, I use air quotes, and squatters. The UK, they're kind of having similar issues. They've come up with a unique plan to fix the immigration housing issues in England. And I wouldn't be shocked if Democrats stay in power if we see something like this here in America, because England is usually 10 years away from happening here. And what they've done to kind of fix their housing crisis is a term called compulsory selling. They're going to force the elderly in the UK to sell their homes so that way they can house migrants.
Suzanne, where are we going to put these people? The uncomfortable truth, as far as I can see it, is that we are going to have tent cities of asylum seekers popping up around the UK.
Well, I think you summed it up beautifully, Patrick, just the huge pressure that we're seeing now on accommodation, and that does seem to be the only answer. But I'm actually a little bit more worried than that, because I think this is all getting very sinister now. We know that we've had people who have been told that their properties are going to be compulsory purchased for asylum seekers. That pretty much tears up private property rights in this country.
Your property is going to be compulsory purchased, meaning, you have no say in the matter. They're just going to take it from you because that home is too big for you. And they're going to do this to the elderly in the UK. Not just that, but they're probably going to be encouraging euthanasia as well.
I was listening to the radio on the way here, and they were talking about a massive problem facing Britain, which was older people living in houses that were, quote, too big for them. Who's got a right to tell you your house is too big for you? You should be allowed to live where you darn well like. And the implication was very clear. These elderly people are taking houses that they shouldn't have. And I fear that's a worry, that there'll be some kind of move to get them out of those houses.
The elderly people, they're living in houses that are too big for them. How dare they? We're going to take them, and we're going to put migrants in them. Asylum seekers. This is our future.
We've also had the horrible scenario last week when Matthew Paris, writing in The Times, talked about how euthanasia wouldn't be a bad thing if it encouraged elderly people to hasten their own deaths.
That's nice. That's nice. Sell your home or kill yourself. That's how they're going to fix the housing issue in the UK when it comes to asylum seekers.
So what? We've got to pop our clogs, have we, forcibly, when we're 60, 70, 80, 90, perhaps earlier, if we're not productive people in society, as Matthew Paris said it. So I think the whole thing now is getting really, really sinister and scary.
Okay. It is sinister. It is scary. 2898 on the members nutrition text line said, will they repurpose Buckingham Palace? No, of course not. Of course not. They're just going to be knocking on the door of the elderly saying, hey, this 4-bedroom McMansion that you have here, we're going to need this. You and your spouse are only using 1 bedroom. So you gotta sell it. You got to sell that. Have you, if you don't want to sell, have you thought about euthanasia? Do you have a slight knee pain? Do you get headaches? Because that could be an alternative solution. It is pure insanity, but I would expect nothing less coming out of Europe. And if we continue down this route, my friends, this is our future as well. It is 10:30 on Supertalk 99.7 WTN, and Ken Weaver with the latest headlines.
Got the full forecast coming up in 2 minutes, but right now, tell you about the big traffic problems. First, we have I-40 eastbound shut down. This is between White Bridge Pike, Briley Parkway West, exit 204, and 28th Avenue, exit 207. Then in Rutherford County, 24 westbound down to one lane. The left 3 lanes are blocked by a crash between Waldron Road, exit 64, and Hickory Hollow Parkway, exit 60. That is a 67-minute delay. And you better check with your airline because the earthquake in New Jersey has prompted a ground stop at major airports.
It was around 10:30 in the morning when all of a sudden people all over New Jersey say they felt things begin shuddering. The rumbling went on for a long time, 5 or 6 seconds or so. The earthquake was strong enough for people in New York City to have felt it as well. There are reports that the fire department has been dispatched to the city of Long Valley, New Jersey, following reports of buildings with structural damage. As of now, no reports of injury.
Sherry Preston reporting. And in entertainment news, country music icon Colt Ford is in the intensive care unit of an Arizona hospital after suffering a heart attack after a show last night. That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Hey, it's Chris Hand for my friends at United Structural Systems. We've been getting rain. It's that time of year where we're going to get some more. And it's the perfect time of year that you might find yourself needing some waterproofing on your home. Not the perfect time of year. I mean, it's never a perfect time of year to need waterproofing on your home, but it's that time of year where you notice it, where you see that standing water in your crawl space, where you're seeing those wet basement walls and cracks in your basement floors. And when you see that, it's your house trying to tell you something, and you should give the guys at USS a call to take a look. They're your waterproofing experts. They've been doing this in Middle Tennessee since 1994, and they aren't going anywhere. The guys at USS are good, honest, hardworking guys, and they're proud of the work they do. And if you get some rain and you notice that standing water, call them. They'll come out, create a custom plan and solution for you and your home, and they won't leave until the work is done and you are satisfied. And when they do leave, after they do a fantastic job, they'll leave a lifetime guarantee. And the lifetime guarantee will stay with your home. It won't leave if you leave. It is unparalleled, the job that they do, and you should call them to help you with any waterproofing needs you may have. 615-488-7855. 615-488-7855. They have 25,000 satisfied customers, and I'm confident that you'll be satisfied as well. Call USS today, 615-488-7855, or hit up their website for more, USSTN.com. 10:36 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Yeah, so they're going to force people to sell their homes in the UK for asylum seekers. It's nice. It's good.
Yeah, it sounds normal.
If you have a 4-bedroom house and you're only using 1 bedroom, what are you thinking?
Yeah, come on.
What are you thinking?
Selfish.
Seriously. You know better than that. Yeah.
What's mine is yours.
Yeah. We gave you the opportunity to take them in, and you said no. So, oh, jeez. I got getting a couple texts. 4822 said, we in the U.S. have 30, 40, and 50-year-olds living off the old people here, so it won't happen. LOL. Yeah. It won't happen until it does. It won't happen until it does. I got another text, 0026. The UK has lost their minds. There was a little girl that was sick, and the UK refused to treat. And the Vatican made her a citizen of Italy to treat her, and the UK refused to let her get on the Italian plane and unplugged life support from the toddler. I think I recall that story. The UK lost their minds a long time ago. A long time ago. It's crazy. It's crazy. Appreciate you guys texting in on the Members Nutrition text line. Say that 5 times fast. At 615-737-9986 and calling in. It's an agenda-free Friday, so we can talk about anything that you want to talk about. 9365 said, I wish a bleeper would. Yep. I feel like that would fall under the FAFO policy here in America.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
If you know, you know.
When you increase the FAing, you increase the FOing. It increases together. Stan in Nashville, you're next on Super Talk. What's up, Stan?
Hey, first of all, I just want to say hope Chris Christie's all right. I heard he tripped and fell up in New Jersey this morning.
Oh, you're a savage, Stan. You're an absolute savage.
Hey, I was watching TV late last night. Family Guy was on. I saw something hilarious. If you watch it, you will laugh. Somebody was teasing a character on there named Joe.
Yep.
And they told him that when he sneezes, his sneeze sounds like Howard Dean. And he said, no, I don't. And then he sneezed, and the sneeze was hilarious. If you get a chance, check that out.
It was the
Exactly. It's hilarious if you get a chance to check it out.
All right, I will. I appreciate you, Stan. Thanks so much. Mike in Dixon wants to talk about houses in the UK. What's up, Mike?
Hey, no, see, that would never go with me. No, I would burn it down before they would do that. Have you ever seen the very last episode of Little House on the Prairie?
No, I can't say that I have.
Okay, the reason I say that, at the end of this, the railroad was coming through, and the railroad owner, he took the town out from under the people. And the people didn't want that, and they blew up the town.
Interesting.
So no, that would never go with me. If it was my property, they ain't going to force me to do it. I'd burn it down before they do that.
I hear you, man, and I totally get the sentiment. I appreciate you.
All right, man.
All right, hey, have a good rest of your day. 615-737-9986. Todd in Clarksville, you're next on Super Talk. What's up, Todd? What do you want to talk about?
Hey, good morning, Chris. Thanks for taking my call. Just talking about the euthanasia thing in England. Our country would never do that because they'd probably take out half of our politicians when they do.
I mean, listen, they're doing the euthanasia stuff is crazy. It's assisted suicide, and they're doing it. Yeah, I mean, they're doing it in Canada. Like if you're depressed, like, well, have you tried suicide? It's like, what?
Yeah, it's just insanity, man.
It really is. It really is. And then they're going to try and talk elderly people into this. What did the lady on the news say? She's like, they want us to punch our clocks out early so that way they can take our home for asylum seekers.
Yeah, it's nuts.
It really is. It really is. I appreciate the call, Todd. The Babylon Bee had a funny video that they put out. Somebody tagged me in it on Twitter. Tagged me and Murphy in it. It was about Canadian healthcare. Guy goes in, he has knee pain. They're like, "Oh yeah, well we got the perfect thing for you, eh? It's a bullet. It's a bullet." Oh jeez. He's like, I just came for some aspirin. And then the flip side is it said, all right, now they do it in American healthcare. And they're like, okay, here's some aspirin. That'll be $800.
Exactly.
Phil in the Borough, you're next on Super Talk. What's up, Phil?
Hey, how you doing, Matt? Thanks for taking my call. I have something from Mac, and I have something for you.
All right, bet.
For Mac, I know you just got recently engaged. There's just two things you got to remember.
Okay.
If Mama ain't happy, nobody's happy. And I've been married for almost 34 years, so if you remember two words, you'll be just fine. And they are, yes, dear.
That's good advice. That is good advice.
Thank you, Phil. Appreciate that.
Write it on your hand.
Taking notes. Yeah, exactly.
And also, did you realize that if they don't take enough out of your retirement checks and everything, that the IRS penalizes you for not taking out all that money to pay them?
Wait, what?
I just filed my taxes, and I had to pay a $230 penalty because they did not take enough out of my retirement check to cover my taxes. Even though I had to pay $6,000.
It's crazy. The whole IRS thing blows my mind. And I appreciate your call, Phil. They'll be like, hey, listen, you owe us some money. And you'll be like, okay, perfect. How much? And they'll be like, you figure it out. It's like, oh, okay. And then, they'll be like, we'll know if you get it wrong. What? Why don't you just tell me how much I owe you then? Why do I have to figure it out myself? Rich in Mount Eagle, you're next on Super Talk. What's up, Rich?
Well, I don't want to talk about euthanasia because I'm 89.
Oh,
but the national debt worries me to death.
Hey.
All of us on Social Security that are getting over 1,000 or 1,200, something like that, should take a 10% reduction. I know I'm going to start a firestorm. Those under that should take a 5% reduction. And in Washington, all the agencies should be taken 10% off. All the budgets should be reduced 10%. Now let's go to Netanyahu. Leave him alone. People who bake babies in front of their mothers in the oven should not be considered human. They may have human DNA, but they're animals. Beheading babies in front of their parents or raping women in front of their children. Those aren't people. They deserve everything they get, and people who support them are going to be collateral damage. I guess I've started enough fires.
No. I hear you, Richard. And it's like 70, I think it's Murphy tweeted out the stat last night. Like 74% of the Palestinians support Hamas.
Yes.
I'm fine with Israel doing what they need to do. I wish that they would do it quickly. I just don't like funding both sides of that war from the American taxpayer dollar.
Don't we always fund everybody no matter what side they're on?
It seems like it happens again and again and again, doesn't it?
Yes. Unfortunately, we have idiots warming the world that you just can't believe. The Old Testament, the old scriptural evil, shall become good and good evil.
Yep.
Bitter, sweet, sweet, bitter. We're there, and you can't understand it at my age. It just seems so ludicrous.
I hear you, Richard. Hey, I appreciate your call, man. And I want to say, at 89, with the advances in modern science, there's no telling. You could live to 250, 300 in today's day and age.
Well, I had a dentist that did a tooth yesterday without any Novocaine. It was only about 30 or 40 seconds of pain. But, boy, it was extreme, but I appreciated it when it was all over. Sometimes you got to suffer.
Hey, I hear you, based. All right. Appreciate you, Richard. Thanks, man.
All right.
All right. Take it easy. Richard sounds like a fun guy to hang out with.
Yeah, Richard's great.
Richard's like, yeah. He's like, would you like some Novocaine? He's like, nope. He's like, really? Like, your insurance covers it. He's like, I said no.
No, I'm good.
Just take that tooth out.
Need the pain.
You're wasting time. I like that. 4209 said Richard forever on the Members Nutrition text line.
Bingo.
Yep. I like Richard. All right. So there's a bunch of stories that we have not gotten to this week. There's just so much out there. It is so hard to get to all the stories. If there's something that we missed that you want to talk about, it's an Agenda-Free Friday, 615-737-9986. I saw a recent poll where Rasmussen has Trump holding an 8-point lead over Joe Biden. Donald Trump now has an 8-point lead, as Breitbart says, over his fraudulency, Joe Biden. I like that. His fraudulency. This is according to Rasmussen. Currently, Trump sits at 49%. Hunter's dad sits at 41%. And then in a three-way race that includes RFK Jr., Trump still comes out on top by 6 points. 44% for Trump, 38% for Biden, 10% for Kennedy. So it is interesting, though, that in the three-way race, according to Rasmussen, RFK Jr. takes more from Trump than he does Biden. I keep thinking that it's going to work the other way, but in this latest poll, it doesn't seem to show that. But when you add in another third-party candidate, two third-party candidates, Trump leads by 7 points. Trump at 45, Biden at 38, Kennedy at 9, Cornel West at 2, and Jill Stein at 1%. The internals are pretty good news for Trump. Pretty good news. Sharon in the borough, you're next on Super Talk. Hey, Sharon, how are you?
Hey, Chris, I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. What's going on?
Well, I just got my hair on fire when you were talking about, what they're doing in the UK about making elderly give up their homes.
Compulsory selling is the idea that they're throwing around because, that 4-bedroom house, 5-bedroom house for just two elderly people, that's just too large.
That's unbelievable. And then it just reminds me of the illegals taking over homes here in our country. And so I'm thinking, okay, that seems like if that goes through in the UK, how long is it going to take for it to happen here?
When I was growing up, my dad always told me, keep your eyes on Europe. They're 10 to 15 years ahead of us.
Well, yeah, hopefully it's that long, but that's still, but don't we the people own the White House? Didn't we build that?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on who's in there,
house.
Right?
It's our house. I think we should take over the White House and all move in there.
Do you think we would get the squatters' rights treatment on that? Do you think we could?
I think we should. We should get squatters' rights treatment.
Listen, with the amount of time that Biden's been on vacation under his presidency, there would be plenty of time for squatters to move in.
Absolutely, and then we'd be there long enough to say, "Hey, it's ours. It belongs to us now."
Yeah.
Well, all this stuff puts a whole new twist on mi casa, su casa.
Yeah, seriously, you're absolutely right. Hey, I appreciate you, Sharon. Thanks for calling in.
Take care, bye.
All right, bye. Yeah, it's mi casa, su casa. I don't know if you'd be able to squat in the White House. You think we'd get away with that? Probably not.
Maybe we could try and find that cocaine.
All right, Matt, calm down. I know it's the weekend. But chill, bro.
Just saying, man.
Speaking of cocaine, did you know? Look at this radio segue.
Wow.
I've had some good segues this week.
You really have.
Speaking of cocaine, did you know that Trump said he wants Biden to be drug tested before any debates?
Whoa.
Yeah, he's suggesting that he's on cocaine. He was on the Hugh Hewitt show, and he says, if we do a debate, I want him drug tested.
You have said you'll debate him anywhere, anytime. Do you think he'll agree to any debate?
Anywhere, anytime.
Do you think he'll agree?
I don't think so, but I hope he does. I think what happened is, that white stuff that they happened to find, which happened to be cocaine in the White House. I don't know. I think something's going on there because I watched his State of the Union and he was all jacked up at the beginning. By the end, he was fading fast. There's something going on there. I want to debate, and I think debates with him at least should be drug tested.
How long does cocaine last? I was just thinking to myself. Can we fact check that? What's the average time on a cocaine high? I'm Googling right now. How long does cocaine last? What is that? How long does cocaine last? Up to 20 minutes. So it's probably something a little bit stronger than cocaine. Right?
Yeah, it's definitely not that.
No.
No.
I do agree that drug tests are needed. Because he was hopped up on something at the State of the Union address. Mac, Max, you're so funny.
What did I do?
Just we're gonna find the cocaine.
I mean, come on, no one's found it.
It's 10:51 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I-40 is still closed eastbound between White Bridge Pike and Briley Parkway exit 204 and 28th Avenue. And then in Rutherford County, 24 westbound, the left 3 lanes are blocked in Laverne by a crash. That's a 31-minute delay. Had that earthquake in Jersey. Israel quickly firing 2 commanders and reopening aid routes in Gaza, and a country music icon in intensive care for a heart attack. These stories and more at 11 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Ken Weaver. It is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. If you think our highways are bad right now, I just saw a video on Twitter, so it has to be real, of the highway coming out of Long Island after the earthquake that they got. It reminded me of the Obama movie. What is it? When the World Ends?
I think, I thought that was that. It's Leave the World Behind.
Leave the World Behind. You know that scene where they have all the Teslas?
Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
That was actually a pretty cool scene.
Was it? Did you watch that movie?
Yeah.
Did you like it?
It wasn't bad.
The
Tesla part was pretty cool.
Really?
Yeah, you better make sure you're not in the road if that ever happens.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm checking that out. I might watch that this weekend. But I know a lot of people aren't doing the streaming. It's too expensive. In fact, most Gen Zers and millennials say streaming services cost too much.
Interesting.
Spoiler alert. Everything in this economy costs too much.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not working at all.
Don't.
All right. During the commercial break, I'll be giving Mac all of my streaming service logins. It's 11 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Eleven o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast in 2 minutes. Again, I-40 eastbound is closed right now. White Bridge Pike, Briley Parkway West, exit 204 to 28th Avenue, exit 207. And then in Rutherford County, you got the left 3 lanes blocked of 24 westbound in Laverne because of a crash that's causing a 29-minute delay. And you better check with your airline. The earthquake in New Jersey's prompted a ground stop at major airports. Around 10:30 Eastern time this morning, all of a sudden, people all over said they felt things shaking.
We were actually walking the dog, and then we just felt like insane shaking. Yeah. We didn't even process that it was an actual earthquake. We just thought like it was like wind or something.
Yeah, we all looked around very, very confused.
No reports of any injury as of right now. And a critical moment for U.S.-Israeli relations. Here's Karen Travers at the White House.
The White House is welcoming the announcements by Israel to open up more points of entry to get humanitarian aid into Gaza. National Security Spokesman John Kirby on ABC's Good Morning America.
We've talked about a commitment to increase the number of trucks that will get in. Those are good starts, but we got to see them execute and implement those things over time.
Kirby reiterated what President Biden conveyed to Prime Minister Netanyahu Thursday, that Israel must improve the humanitarian situation in Gaza, or else the administration could change the way it's supporting Israel.
All right, entertainment news. Country music icon Colt Ford is in intensive care at an Arizona hospital after suffering a heart attack after a show last night. News release says he was performing at Dierks Bentley's Whiskey Row there in Arizona. That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
The guaranteed offer is the easiest way to sell your home. It's really simple. We bring you an all-cash offer. You close in as little as 21 days. No home inspections, no lockboxes, no open houses. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer and start packing.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Matt Murphy for Members Nutrition. I want to tell you about the Members Nutrition difference, and I want to encourage you to go over to the Members Nutrition website. Number one, they believe at Members Nutrition that they can sell vitamins and supplements at a lower cost point, and they're doing it every single day at membersnutrition.com. Number two, they want to make these products right here in the United States of America, not from some overseas company, and they do that every single day. I encourage you to go to membersnutrition.com. You'll get 50% off your purchase price at checkout. You don't have to put in any codes. Just go to membersnutrition.com. Once again, membersnutrition.com.
What an absolute mess. Hey, it's Dan Mandison. Look at my closets. Unorganized to say the least. Even my window dormer is a train wreck. Stuff is everywhere. Now, luckily, California Closets is coming to my rescue. My personal design consultant, Vince, stopped by, measured, and is now showing me how to become more space efficient and organized on his 3D CAD system. It is amazing. And soon, my space is going to be organized, and yes, even Bandit approves. California Closets, a local company that can customize the storage in any room of your house. California Closets, what can they do for you? Find them online at californiaclosets.com and reach out for your free in-home consultation. Hey, it's Dan Mandison. I love My Patriot Supply. It's emergency food so you can care for your family no matter what. And today, we're fixing creamy chicken flavored rice. And the thing I love about My Patriot Supply, it's easy. You just get the water, turn on the heat, and in minutes, we are ready to go. Now, this food lasts for 25 years in special packaging, and yes, it does taste great. And in just minutes, it's ready to eat. Patriots don't rely on the government to take care of their family in emergencies. It's up to you. Order right now and get $200 off a 3-month food kit. It's important to go to preparewithmandis.com to get that great discount. That's preparewithmandis.com to get that great discount. Preparewithmandis.com. $200 off a 3-month food kit.
$11:04 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It's an agenda-free Friday. Anything you want to talk about, we can talk about at 615-737-9986. My name is Chris Hand. Find me on Twitter, True Social, Instagram, at Chris Hand on Air. Did I say that already? I might have said that already.
Where can they find you on social media?
Twitter, True Social, Instagram, at Chris Hand on Air. Mac J. Maury, 25, my producer on Twitter. Behind the Box Score. The podcast
just released
in the box, in the
no,
in the score box.
No, you're gonna mess me up, you and Murphy.
In front of the score box with Matt Morley.
With Matt Morley, there he is.
Yeah. Mark Morris underneath the score box. We love that podcast. It's my favorite sports podcast, and you can catch it wherever podcasts are sold. Listen, it's an agenda-free Friday. Anything you want to talk about, we can talk about. Trump was saying he wants Biden drug tested before the debates. I have so much more knowledge on how long drugs last now because of all of you guys on the Members Nutrition text line letting me know exactly how long every drug lasts. And I think we've settled on, for the State of the Union, amphetamines was probably what he was on. He was probably on some sort of amphetamine. This is anecdotal research, right? But as we proceed to the election, woke companies have been overwhelmingly donating Democrat. This isn't something that's shocking, but a website known as the 1792 Exchange, they launched a database exposing the political biases of woke Fortune 250 companies such as Disney. They're a nonprofit dedicated to providing resources and developing policies to educate Americans about woke companies. The 1792 Exchange. You should check them out, as well as the dangers behind ESG investing, the environment, social, and governance. So this nonprofit launched its board bias database, and it exposes political activities and ideological statements from board members, executives, and the like. And the board bias database will give you a fuller picture behind the people behind the decisions made by corporations. It's actually pretty cool. The 1792 Exchange cited that Bob Iger, the chairman and CEO of the Walt Disney Company, said the company purposely incorporates controversial issues. He explained it in 2018. They have all of this background on so many people. They have a 2020 TED Talk from Reed Hastings, the Netflix founder, when he said his hiring philosophy is not based on merit, but cultural evolution. Netflix donated over $3 million to Democrat causes, and only $422,000 to Republican causes, according to this board bias database. Disney, on the flip side, they donated almost $3 million to Democrat causes and almost $1 million to Republican causes. It's interesting to see it in black and white, and I just want you to take a look at this in case you're interested. They go through tons of companies, and again, overwhelmingly donating Democrat. Malika in Nashville, you're next on Super Talk. What's up, Malika?
Hey guys, happy Friday. This is what we need. We need conservative Republicans ASAP. We also need to understand that this is the sad reality. If we vote, it will not happen. We need to unfortunately understand that Democrats care about everybody else but us, and it's a shame and disgraceful. So if you can vote. Thanks. Let's see what happens in November.
Thanks, Malika. I feel like we should do a recurring segment with Malika.
I was just
we literally
thinking that.
just do because I don't even have to tell her.
No.
Like, Malika, you got 30 seconds. Boom. We should just 10 seconds with Malika. Thanks, guys. Democrats hate you. Go vote.
Exactly.
Nothing she said is wrong.
Oh, no, Malika's based.
She's absolutely one of the most based callers we have. I love it.
No prompt needed.
All right, Malika, go. I don't even have to intro her anymore.
No.
Just Malika, go. Mike in Spring Hill wants to talk about power stations. Mike, you're next on Super Talk. What's going on?
Hey, Chris, thanks for taking my call. Yeah, I was watching Fox News the other day in my hometown of Joliet, Illinois. Was mentioned it's a big hub for warehouses, and you have tons of trucks. Well, a local company wanted a request for 30 charging stations for their trucks, and the city denied it, saying they didn't have the power. And I had to chuckle because 15 miles to the west of Joliet in Morris, Illinois, they have a power station, a nuke station. Joliet has a coal-producing power station, and 15 miles north in Romeoville, they have another coal-producing power plant. So you have 3 power plants within 15 miles, and yet Joliet is saying, hey, we can't support 30 charging stations for their electric trucks.
Huh.
And they want us to go all electrical. No way.
There's and they also they had something like I forget the exact number, but billions of dollars to create charging stations all over America for electric cars, and they've done zero so far with that money that they've spent. It's just it is not realistic that we're going to switch over by 2030.
No, it's not. And I just had a chuckle when I saw Joliet United 30 stations, and like I said, he got a nuke plant 15 miles away.
Yeah. And I think Ford just canceled their EV truck because the demand is so low.
Yeah,
it's not even really shocking. I mean, the interest in their F-150 Lightning is plummeting, and they've delayed some of the North American electric SUV truck production. It's nobody wants these things. Yeah. Hey, appreciate your call, Mike. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Let's go to Matt on the road who wants to talk about woke companies. What's up, Matt?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Hey, how are you?
So, pretty good. My question is, Disney and Bob Iger, I mean, we obviously know the product that they produce, where they stand politically and socially and philosophically. What is the reason for donating, period, to Republicans? Is it a tax write-off? I mean, what do they get out of it?
I bet you it's a tax write-off, and then I bet you it's, rubbing some elbows and greasing some wheels, depending on where they're filming, would be my guess.
Okay.
There's
there's got to be some kind of agenda. I mean, there has to be, but I can't really figure it out.
There's a lot of states where they have tax credits for filming. I know Georgia is one of them. I think we have something like that in Tennessee as well. I mean, maybe they're floating and lobbying in that kind of way.
Makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that would be my guess, and that's just based on anecdotal evidence. So.
There you go.
Appreciate you, man.
All right, brother. Hey, yeah, absolutely, man.
All right, drive safe later. Matt on the road there. I thought it was going to be the other Matt that always calls in.
Oh, Matt from Smyrna?
Yeah.
Yeah, hasn't paid you a visit today.
No. Well, the last time he called me, he threatened me. Remember that? Yeah, Mac is nodding. He's answering phones, and he's nodding with a smile. Hey, Matt in Smyrna. Always welcome to call, Matt in Smyrna. 615-737-9986. Jimmy in the Borough wants to talk EVs. Can we just also say that, like, calling them EVs is terrible? Can we all agree on that?
You don't like EVs?
I don't like calling them. I don't like calling them EVs.
Just electric cars.
Yeah, it's just dumb. Jimmy in the Borough, you're next on Super Talk. Sorry, Jimmy, I got off on a tangent there.
No problem. Hey, Chris. So about the electric cars, it's not about, it is about we're going to buy them. But the big thing is they're going to shove it down our throats. They're going to mandate this thing and try and get us to go for it. That's where I think they're going. China just did a thing with hydrogen-powered bicycles.
Hydrogen-powered bicycles in China,
Yep.
you say?
Oh yeah, and they sold out.
They sold out. They sold out of hydrogen-powered bicycles in China.
Yep. China.
Yep.
Trump, China.
How do you make a hydrogen-powered bicycle?
Well, it's they mess around with it with vehicles as well. I don't know how far they got with actual cars, but bicycles, they definitely look it up. They definitely did it. They sold out. They're making more, and they use that. They got everybody on bicycles and in apartment buildings over there. You know the deal.
Yeah, it's yes, they're all stacked up.
So we're not, as consumers, we're not buying it, but they're going to shove it down our throats.
Nah, I hear you, because then they can shut us off remotely, right?
Yep.
I appreciate the call, Jimmy. Thanks so much, man. Yeah, the MIT posted an article on in January 2024. The future of motorcycles could be hydrogen. The MIT electric vehicle team builds a unique hydrogen fuel cell powered electric motorcycle. Say the MIT electric vehicle team, which has a long record of building and racing innovative electric vehicles, including cars and motorcycles, they made a hydrogen-powered electric motorcycle using a fuel cell system as a test bed for new hydrogen-based transportation. So how does that work? Team members say that while battery-powered cars are a boon for the environment, they still face limitations in range, So the team was interested in exploring hydrogen-powered vehicles as a clean alternative, allowing for vehicles that could quickly be refilled, just like gasoline-powered vehicles. But how? That's what I want to know. Let's see. They don't really break it down. At least not that I can see. It's interesting. I would want to hear more about these hydrogen powered motorcycles. How do they work? I mean, there's a bunch of articles on this. They've been doing this for a while, since articles going back to last year. They say, it's another source, Toyota has a commitment to hydrogen power technology. Just nothing. One such innovator is China's Yuan, which offers a portable container weighing 18 kilograms, housing a 40-liter tank that uses electrolysis to produce liquid hydrogen powered by solar energy. The system can be seamlessly integrated with city bikes, making it a valuable addition to bike sharing services in Southeast Asian metropolises. In just 10 seconds, the tank can be refilled, allowing the bike to reach up to speeds of 23 kilometers with a range of 50 to 60 kilometers. With competitive pricing and virtually no charging costs, these bikes are set to significantly impact the market. That'd be interesting. I'd be interested in that. Demetra in the Borough wants to talk about having to put in your ID for porn on the internet. You're next on this Agenda-Free Friday. What's going on, Demetra?
I don't want to talk about porn.
Oh, that's not you? What do you want? What did you want to talk about?
No, remember the other day you were talking about having to put your ID in for porn. So how do you feel about facial recognition to go to a baseball game?
Oh, I don't like that at all. I know exactly what story you're talking about. They were testing that out at an MLB stadium. I think it was in California, right?
The National. Well, they did it at the Nationals.
At the Nationals.
Yeah. So I'm assuming you register, and then you go to the certain kiosk with your face, and you get in the game.
Yeah, I don't really want to do that. They call it the go-ahead entry. And are they doing it again? Because I know they tried it last season.
Well, there was an article that last week, the other day, for the Nationals and 3 other ballparks are doing touchless entry.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan at all, to be honest with you. They call it the nuclear bomb of privacy or easy entry. The USA Today has an article. I appreciate the heads up on this, Demetra. Thank you so much.
Okay,
Yeah, they say MLB's face recognition gates delight and daunt. MLB statistics indicate a 68% faster entry into the ballpark. You know what I would really appreciate? If we could just focus on speeding up the game as opposed to speeding up entry to the game. You know what I mean? That'd be okay? Is that too much to ask?
Yeah, I mean, at Bridgestone, they already have those faceless checkouts in certain places you go in.
They have that at the airport.
Yep.
I don't like it.
It's quite fascinating.
It's spooky.
It's
I'm
weird.
also the guy that hopped in a driverless Uber when I was in Arizona.
You'll give anything a try once.
Yeah.
But you said it yourself after that. You're like, I needed to do it. I don't know if I'd do it again.
And I wouldn't do it. I would never do it in Nashville.
Yeah.
Where the roads are too windy.
If I did it, I would do it in the city. Like I'd need to be like
Phoenix is so grid-like.
That makes sense.
That it was easy. Like I could rationalize it a little bit.
And I'm sure you
better.
weren't going like super far.
No, it was like a 10-minute ride.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I would do that.
Yeah. I buckled up.
Dang right.
Rudy wants to talk about hydrogen cars. Rudy, you're next on Super Talk. What's up, Rudy?
Yeah, I heard the guy talking about the bicycle. Toyota's been actually racing hydrogen-powered cars in some of these, gosh, I forget the race, but they're like Karna or something. But anyway, they've got an 8-cylinder hydrogen-powered engine already.
What?
So to me, that's the way to go, because all it does is throw out moisture for exhaust.
So how does it work? How does a hydrogen car work? Can you break it down for me in a way that I can understand?
I mean, I had to figure it out too, but basically it's taking hydrogen out of water, turning it into a gas, and burning it.
Wasn't there rumors on the internet for years, though, that they killed the guy that made the water car?
There could have been, but I think that's like, those stories that you hear about Bigfoot.
Yeah, I believe those too. Thanks for the call, Rudy. Jimmy in Nashville wants to talk EVs. What's up, Jimmy?
Hey, y'all, it's Jimmy. Hey, I just want to talk about the EVs. My grandkids talked me into buying one of them Teslas.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting at a charging station right now, and I feel like it's breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You got to charge this thing up.
Really?
And I tell you what, I'm going to get my cousin Earl to weld me up one of them racks to go on the back and just put a generator on the back of it so I can just charge it when I drive. Because, it's all the time.
Are you trolling? Are you trolling, or are you actually charging this thing all the time?
I'm literally charging. I plug it into the 110 plug at my house, but, you plug it in for 4 hours and it gets you like 3 miles. And I kind of live out in the country a little bit, and it's just, I'm better off driving my tractor.
So how many hours a week are you spending charging this thing?
I'm not a mathematician, but I figure I'll probably charge, I'd say upwards of 20 hours a week off a 110 circuit, and I drive for maybe 3.
What?
It's just, I don't know.
That's insane.
I guess I need to start turning the air conditioning and the radio off and just roll the windows down.
Well, don't turn the radio off.
I'll get my Walkman out from the 80s.
All right, based. I appreciate you, Jimmy. If you see a guy driving a Tesla listening to a Walkman, you know it's Jimmy. It's 11:22 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
All right, still got those major traffic issues out there slowing us down. First, the 40 eastbound crash blocking White Bridge Pike, Briley Parkway West at 28th Avenue. Looks like they are getting people around that by going on the left shoulder. So get over to the left as soon as you can. What the issue is there, you've got 440 trying to get on 40 going east there, and that's causing quite a bit of a backup. Now, in Rutherford County, in Laverne, we still have the left 3 lanes blocked of 24 westbound by a crash. This is between Waldron Road, exit 64, and Hickory Hollow Parkway, exit 60. Get you an update on that earthquake in Jersey coming up at 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I don't know, guys. I really believed the earthquake at first, but now since it's been on CNN all morning, I don't know if it was real. Maybe it was fake. Jay in the borough wants to explain hydrogen cars to me. Jay, thank you. Can you explain it to me in a way that I can understand?
I sure can. So, hydrogen is a flammable gas, just like gasoline would be. So it can be used in an internal combustion engine. The electrolysis process that you're reading about is taking water, which is H2O, and turning it into a combustible gas, which is HHO. And so when they say the car runs on water, that means that the electrolysis system is just on board the car. And so it runs through that process, it peels off the hydrogen, it uses the hydrogen in the internal combustion engine, and goes on down the road. Hydrogen is a great solution to our energy needs.
Would it make sense to do this like on a larger scale? And would it put the gas companies out of business? How does this work? Is big gas going to kill the hydrogen car?
Already has. And the guy that got killed, his name is Stanley Meyer. He invented this thing. It's a very simple device that could be done at home. So everybody could have a hydrogen generator at their house and produce their own gas with tap water.
Fascinating. But so if you extrapolate that out, right, does that create water shortages?
No, because once it's burned, the HHO converts it back. Once it's used, converts it back to H2O. I'm not real sure about that process, but the water doesn't go away. It just gets changed and used, and it's like matter, right?
But is it the same kind of water? Like, would it be safe to drink on the way out?
Yes.
Yeah?
Distilled. It's H2O.
Fascinating. Hey, thanks for explaining that to me, Jay.
No problem.
Appreciate you, man. Marty, real quick in Smyrna, wants to talk hydrogen cars. Marty, you're on Super Talk. What's up, man?
Hey, just a little clarification. There's 2 types of hydrogen cars. I think what other people are talking about, it's basically an internal combustion engine, except you're using hydrogen gas. And then you have a hydrogen fuel cell, which is like a hydrogen to oxygen battery. So they call them, I've seen it called, FCEV, fuel cell EV.
Okay.
But either way, you do have to have hydrogen. That takes energy. You have to crack the water atoms or get it from, natural gas, and then you got this debate over green hydrogen and so on. So, like, if you want to just go the electrolysis route, you split water atoms, but that takes electricity input. So, you have to have a power plant, right? So that's the difference. That's what's going on.
Hey, appreciate the explanation, Marty. Thanks so much. And I think our last caller, he did confirm, right? The water car guy taken out by big gas, allegedly, anecdotally. It's 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Ken Weaver in the latest headlines.
All right, got better news for you, drivers. If you are stuck in that backup on 40 eastbound over there, right there where 440 merges with you on the west side, they now have 2 lanes open, and things are moving a lot smoother there. Now, we still have that problem in Rutherford County. 3 lanes of 24 westbound are blocked by a crash between Waldron Road and Hickory Hollow Parkway. Those are the left 3 lanes, so get to the right to help things move along there as fast as possible. It is a 32-minute delay. Better check with your airline today because that earthquake in New Jersey prompted a ground stop at some major airports over on the East Coast. We get more from Sherry Preston.
The word all across the New York City area on Friday was, did you feel it? A steady rumbling that started around 10:30 in the morning local time and lasted for about 5 or 6 seconds. The U.S. Geological Survey says the epicenter of the 4.8 magnitude tremor was in Whitehall Station, New Jersey, in the central part of the state. In New York City, no word of any damage to the subways, which kept on operating, but Newark, LaGuardia, and JFK airports all moved into a ground stop so runways could be checked out, and the Holland Tunnel was closed for inspection.
Yeah, no reports of any injury as of now. And that's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Thank you, Ken Weaver. Mac, come on, man. All right, so I'm getting some counterpoints on the members nutrition text line, and I wanted to point out for the hydrogen car fans, 4504 texted in with a counterpoint, and it was, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. So just putting that out there. You know, we have both sides of the conversation. Hey, it's Chris Hand for my friends at Paul Winkler Inc. You know Paul. I know Paul. You probably know Paul from his over 20 years, 2+ decades hosting the Investor Coaching Show. We run that show every Saturday on Super Talk from 3 to 6. But you may not know that he started that show after he spent time studying under an economist who went on to win a Nobel Prize. That's pretty cool. He's also an avid collector of financial planning designations. He has up to 8 now. As you know, my wife and I, we work with Paul. We heard him on WTN before I got my show here. We were learning from him by listening to him. And when I came on board and got my show here, Paul was the guy I wanted to work with. And here's why. They hold themselves to the highest level of fiduciary status. And because of that, Paul makes sure I tell you I'm getting paid to do these commercials. I like that. I like the transparency, and that's what they do. And another thing they do is they don't work on commission. In fact, they do nothing on commission, and I think that's clutch because then you know that what they're doing for you and your financial future is for you and not their financial future because nothing is done on commission. And they'll educate you along the way so you never get that uneasy feeling of blind trust. They'll look at your whole financial picture and then help you make decisions because your financial picture is going to be unique to you. Set up a 15-minute phone call today. You will not be disappointed. Just go to paulwinkler.com. That's paulwinkler.com. 11:38 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand, winding down another agenda-free Friday on the Chris Hand Show, where we can talk about anything you want to talk about. What do you want to talk about? 615-737-9986. Deb in Cool Springs wants to talk about Dems hypocrisy. That's a can of worms. We could talk about this for a while. Deb, what's up?
Oh, yeah, I had a lot to pick from, but I settled on this one.
All right, perfect.
For the time being. Schumer and other dimwits have railed over Trump and so-called Russia collusion, got their boxers in a wad for over 2 years and still do every chance they get. And yet, Schumer and other ones are calling for Benjamin Netanyahu to either be ousted through another election or whatever. My question is, if it's election interference for Russia or China or any other country to interfere in our elections, why is it not interference for Schumer and the others to want Benjamin Netanyahu to be ousted? Is that not also election interference?
It certainly feels that way, doesn't it?
Yeah, I just add that to a arm's length list of other dimwit hypocrisies.
I mean, the list currently looks like a CVS receipt. I mean, the thing is a mile long.
Right.
Yeah, I hear you, Deb.
That's. I just wanted to put my 2 cents worth in and see what yours was.
Hey, I completely agree with you. It is hypocrisy, and I appreciate your call. You're welcome to call in any time. Tom in McMinnville wants to talk about a Republican primary. What's up, Tom?
Hey, Chris, how are you, sir?
Good. How are you?
I am doing well, thanks. I didn't know anything about hydrogen, so I had to pick something else.
I didn't know anything about hydrogen either. I was like, somebody teach me.
Yeah. So I just wanted to give you an update. This is Tom Davis. I am running for Congress.
Tom. What's up, Tom? Appreciate you, man.
Yeah. So I was at the Reagan Day dinner last night. I met our representative, Congressman Scott Desjardins. Nice guy. Doesn't change my opinion. But yesterday was also the drop dead date to have your petitions approved or submitted, noon yesterday. And so out of that, yesterday that I pulled, so myself and on the ballot, Thomas E. Davis, Scott Desjardins, Joe Doctora, and Joshua James have signatures approved. And then Ricky Dean Minton and Michael David Nims were issued, but I don't know if they got them in on time. So I would just like everyone to investigate candidates. And my website, you can find me, thomasedavisforcongress.com. And you can just, do the Google machine or DuckDuckGo for Scott Desjardins. He pops up pretty handily. And the other two guys, to see who may be a better fit. Obviously, my choice is me, but there you go.
So what was the conversation like with Scott Desjardins when you told him that you're running against him?
It was pleasant. I mean, I think he's, kind of used to it, I guess. And he actually had heard my name because I had been to some of the meetings in the district, meeting with the representatives, and they, took that word back. And, he just asked, hey, you doing the thing here, you getting introduced? And I was like, yeah, I'm doing it. Like I said, he's a nice guy, pleasant enough.
That's pretty cool. I like to hear that it was kind of just, cordial and not anything negative. That's good to hear.
Yeah, and that's kind of the setup for these Reagan Day dinners that I'm finding is that, you're not to, and they briefed me going in for my 5 minutes that I got to talk, was, don't disparage anybody else. We're here to bring up the party. So, and everybody did. So it was a pretty good event. I enjoyed being there, and, thanks to Bedford County for putting that on.
So, Tom, where can people find you and your platform and learn more about you? Because you're running against Desjardins for Congress. How can people get in touch with you?
Yeah. So through my website to email, and that's thomasedavisforcongress.com. I'm on Facebook, Tom Davis for Congress. And then, for contact, I think, Tom Davis TN4 @gmail.com.
TomDavisTN4@gmail.com. Are you on Twitter? Because I know the last time we talked, you weren't on Twitter yet.
I am on the Twitter, and that's the same one. I do have that one set up, Tom Davis TN4.
Perfect, man. Well, I'm looking forward to talking to you again. Thanks for calling in, bud.
All right. Appreciate you listening to me, Chris. Have a great day.
Appreciate you. I think that's pretty cool that, Tom's running against Desjardins. Desjardins bumped into him, and they had a cordial conversation. I like that. I also think that more choices are always going to be better when it comes to who we're voting for, and I think you should look at everybody. I'm going to look at everybody. I think we all should do that. 615-737-9986 if you want to weigh in on the conversation. The election is getting here, and it's going to be here before we know it. Wisconsin did something pretty big in my eyes. Wisconsin voters ban the private funding of elections. Well, what does that mean? It means goodbye to Zuckerbucks. It was Tuesday night. Wisconsin voters approved an amendment that would ban the private funding of elections in the swing state. This has to be a blow for Democrats. The amendment directs that donations and grants may not be applied for, accepted, expended, or used in connection with the conduct of any primary election or referendum. And according to the question phrasing that the Wisconsin state legislature listed, that's according to that, the Associated Press election results show that the ballot question passed by 54.4% to 45.6%. So this is pretty big because this comes after we all knew that the Center for Technology and Civic Life, the CTCL, gave more than $10 million in grants in Wisconsin in the 2020 election. Mark Zuckerberg and his wife Priscilla Chan notoriously poured hundreds of millions of Zuckerbucks into the CTCL for the purpose of getting out the vote in Democrat-leaning areas in the 2020 election. That's what Breitbart previously reported. But now they have banned that. And this is after Wisconsin went for Joe Biden in 2020's presidential election by just 20,000 votes. So is this a huge blow for them? I think so. The Wisconsin GOP is celebrating this, tweeting out, "Goodbye, Zuckerbucks." Victory. Wisconsin has spoken, and the message is clear. Elections belong to voters, not out-of-state billionaires. That was from the Wisconsin Republican Party chairman, Brian Schimming, in a statement. Thanks to the efforts by the Republican Party of Wisconsin and grassroots organizing, Wisconsinites have turned the page on Zuckerbucks and secured our elections from dark money donors. This is interesting. This also comes after a Wisconsin mayoral upset that could spell trouble for Joe Biden. So the incumbent mayor of Wausau, Wisconsin, Democrat Mayor Katie Rosenberg, lost her re-election bid in a race that far-left Milwaukee Journal Sentinel says could represent trouble to come for Democratic candidates later this year, and in particular, Biden. I mean, if we get Wisconsin on the board, that is a good sign. So Rosenberg defeated incumbent Republican Mayor Robert Mike by about 5 points in 2020. And this is at the heart of the pandemic when the Zuckerbucks were in full swing. And her acceptance speech was a memorable 2-word tweet, "Holy balls." And since 2020, Rosenberg has been seen as a rising star in the Democrat Party and even a potential candidate for governor of Wisconsin. But that all changed Tuesday morning when results showed Rosenberg coming in at just 48% of the vote in Wausau, while challenger Doug Diney had over 52%. And people are saying that this is a sign of things to come in Wisconsin, and I, for one, would welcome that. I really would. I'm excited for that. And Wisconsin, man, Wisconsin's been in the news a lot lately. The Wisconsin governor, Tony Evers, Democrat, he vetoed a ban on transgender athletes in high school sports. He vetoed it. He vetoed that bill on Tuesday. It would have banned high school transgender athletes from competing on teams that do not align with their gender at birth. So he promised to veto the bill as soon as it was introduced by by Republicans in the state legislature. And Republicans control the legislature in Wisconsin. Democrats couldn't come up with the votes to prevent the bill's passage, and he vetoed it, which is insanity. It's putting everyone's daughters at risk in Wisconsin. Their kids are going to get hurt. And we're also seeing new studies in this trans arena where studies are showing that most children that are confused about their gender grow out of it as adults. We're finally getting to that point where we have lengthy data. And there's a 15-year study that's coming out of the University of Groningen out of the Netherlands. I don't know. In the Netherlands, they use lots of consonants.
Sounds right.
Lots of them. So this survey was pretty expansive. They surveyed 2,770 sex-confused children every 3 years, asking about their feelings on the matter, according to a report by the Daily Mail. And at the start of the research, about 1 in 10 children reportedly expressed gender non-contentness to varying degrees. But by the age of 25, only 1 in 25, 4%, said they often or sometimes felt discontent with their sex. So the results of the study, as you can see, as kids get older, they grow out of it, which is another reason why we need to stop the transgender ideology on our kids and protect them at all costs. It's 11:49 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. 11:55 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. My time here is coming to an end, and Matt Murphy is tagging in. What's up, Murph?
Hello, Mr. Hand. How are you?
I'm good, man.
You sound great.
Thank you.
You do.
I try.
You succeed.
This guy.
You succeed.
I feel like he's luring me in.
Yeah, be careful there, Chris. Be careful there.
Luring me in. He's softening me
sweet
up.
talking.
Just fishing.
And then there's going to be something coming. Like,
exactly.
Boom.
Boom. Blindside.
No, it's all good. It's all
Sounds
good.
great. You're
Feel
great.
good today. You know what it is that I feel under the weather. That's what it is.
Why do you feel under the weather?
I was telling you the story. So I was gonna save it for the 12 o'clock. I'll tell it right now. So I have felt
we
fuzzy.
get it early.
Yeah.
I felt fuzzy. I'm fuzzy. Look, if you're a liberal and you want to get me, today's your day. Come on, because you can get me. I'm gettable. I'm fuzzy. You wake up and you have those days where you just can't focus, and I can't figure it out. And then I realized that last night, very briefly, I decided to get out the blower. I have the backpack blower, but I also have the handheld electric deal.
Which one did you do?
I got the electric, the handheld, because it was not a big deal. It was just let's blow off the nastiness on the back deck.
Okay,
I got a couple of back decks, blow off the front walk, and it's the allergies. It's the pollen. See, example number 487 of a gajillion of them, that there is a God and that he is fair and just and wise. I picked on people that complained about allergies for years. For years. I mean, up until I was like 37, 38, I'm like, you people, suck it up. What's your problem? What's going on? And one morning, God said, just give him a little.
Give him a little taste.
Just give him a little taste of that. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. How long do I have to deal with this? I apologize. I don't know what to do. Don't smite me. But anyway. So that's my day. How's your day?
So your day is being punished by God.
Yes, I'm being punished by God currently for all of the nasty things I said about people who complained about their allergies years ago. That's what that is.
If that's what he's getting you for, I feel like that is a light sentence.
No, that's actually a good point. Is that Murph? I don't know you a long time, but on the list of things that God would probably do, this is probably way down the list.
Yeah, it's pretty low. That's pretty low.
Maybe he's moving up. Maybe he's going to the
he's starting
low and getting to the bigger stuff. Yeah. What do you got going on this weekend? Chilling with the chilling.
This is one of those times where you're going to ask me that question. I'm going to tell you I don't know. And then I'm going to get home and my wife is going to say, why didn't you tell him that we have this and that? Oh, I just reminded myself, we're going to celebrate my daughter's second birthday tonight.
Aww.
Yep, Millie Jane is 2.
There you go.
Yep, so
that's what I'm talking about.
No more 1-year-olds in the house.
Are we, and forgive me, my ignorance is very, very deep and wide on young children because I don't have any. Mine are perfect. Are we moving around? At 2 years old, we're moving around. We're getting through the house. We're doing our thing.
She's climbing on the coffee table and stage diving on me at this point.
Okay. So you got that. But you're an old hand at this now, right? This is your youngest?
Yeah. So this is number 4.
I mean, you're a literal and figurative old hand.
Yep.
At these types of things now. So, I mean, do you feel like the youngest? You just let them cry it out more?
It definitely as the kids go on.
Whatever.
Like second kid, third kid. You're like, what number is this one? I wouldn't even count.
Fourth kid, your wife says, hey, have you seen, what's her name?
Millie Jane.
Millie Jane. Have you seen who? I don't, no clue what you're talking about.
The other day, so I'm out there cleaning the car. Or I was emptying the vacuum cleaner into the trash. She's like, did Millie Jane just walk out here? I was like, of course not. I would have seen her. She's like, Chris, she's over there on the side.
Have a great weekend.
You too.
All right.
All right. What do we got coming up on the show? Anything exciting and fun?
You know what? You'll have to listen to find out. How about that?
All right. Matt Murphy in noon to 3 here on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.